Hello, everybody. My name is Oxy, and today is the second episode of how I lost my mother. Um, this episode is going to be random, and there is a few reasons for that. But let us start with trigger warning. Since in this video I'm talking about my personal experience, how I am going through loss and how I went through loss. I don't know what I should say here, but whatever. If you're going through something similar or your favorite person passed away not a long time ago, I recommend you not to watch this video right now and right here and just save this video for later. And second of all, with all due respect for people who's watching this video, I know that some of you might have stories and personal experience to share, but under this video, comment section is not going to be available. But for you, if you want to give me an advice or share your own experience, I would like to read it. I swear to God. I'm going to leave an email into information box, or how you call it this, I don't know. And yeah, you can email me the story and I'm gonna reach out to you with my answer. Thanks. So let's get into video. So for those of you who didn't watch the first episode and you just found the video on the YouTube, my name is Oxy, as I said, and here I tell my own experience. My mother died because of cancer. I was 18 years old, and I feel like stories like this, they must be talked about because my experience can help. I have a few notes in here, and this is something that I just write down for not forgetting things and knowing what to talk about. And the first chapter I would like to start with is feelings, memories, and life in general. As I said in the first episode, the story begins in 2022. And not gonna lie, life after that, it didn't lose the taste. Like, it still was life. But if you ask me if I can remember anything without going to my gallery, I would say no, because our brain is built like this, that it's like a save mechanism that prevents your brain from getting depression or things like that. And that's the reason why I have a phone here with an open gallery. And for those of you who is facing the same problem, I have no tips. I have nothing to say. It's just something that you have to admit, that you stop feeling anything. And actually, that's a problem that I faced because since 2022 started, since we found out the news, I stopped feeling all of the emotions. I can feel the grief, I feel sadness, but experiencing happiness or having a pleasure in this life, I don't know how to feel this again still. And maybe you found yourself in the same position, but I would say that 2021 was the last year I could smile without forcing a smile. And it's complete normal, in my opinion, because you, me, we went through such an experience, such problems at young age or at older age, so I guess it's fine, and I would just give it a time to come back to normal. So last episode did end with me going to Omsk and seeing my mother there. I left Omsk a month before, and she was looking amazing. She did lose weight, but she still had a good shape. She has her makeup. She has her haircut. She is just naturally gorgeous. And when I'm coming 1 month later, I'm coming in an apartment where she is slim as a stick, where she has this like bold haircut. She wasn't bald, but her haircut was like, it's just very short haircut. And I think that it was just needed. It was necessarily, but we never talked about that. And I went there for weekends, Saturday, Sunday, and I left. And I went straight from the airport to work. But before that, I was in the airport with my mother. She went with me to the airport to say bye and just, So before before the passport control and other things, like checking zone, I don't know, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I didn't have a doubt, okay? And I had this idea in my mind because losing someone is just, it's not, we're never going to be prepared for that, let's be honest. And most of the people I'm talking to, I'm having this question to everyone I know, I guess. What are your fears? What are you scared of? And we're not talking about like, oh, I'm scared of darkness or something like this. No, like huge fears, because I cannot believe that that a person doesn't have any fears. And a lot of people saying that biggest fear is experiencing the death or like losing your parents or something. And that also was my biggest fear. And that's why knowing that I'm loved by my mother for the rest of my life, even if she's not here, it's something that I'd like to save. Of course, we've been saying I love you every day, every moment we could say it, we did say it. Yeah, but still, nothing is permanent in this life. And because it was winter, I was wearing winter jacket, and I remember that I took a card, and just before I left, I gave her the card, and I asked her to write "I love you," and that's the reason why I'm filming this episode with t-shirts and her handwriting with words "I love you" are here. And I never considered to have a tattoo. I wanted to get a tattoo when I was 14, and I remember annoying my mom so bad to get her approval for that, and I never did it. But I didn't have a doubt that, okay, I'm making a tattoo. And that was my first ever tattoo. But before I went to Moscow, we agreed that she's gonna move to Moscow. In my mind at that time, it was very normal decision and solution for the situation, because I'm gonna talk how I saw the situation from my perspective, how I felt it. And I felt like my dad, he doesn't give a shit, as sad as it is, but we had a lot of arguments. I was angry with him the whole time. I couldn't understand his things that he did while all of that was happening. And there was no surgery available or any treatment. And I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Like, you move into Moscow. Moscow has better doctors. Moscow has better clinics. I just want you to be happy. And main idea, I guess, for me in my head about her moving to Moscow was not getting the right treatment. It was, oh, I'm going to be with her, and in Moscow there is more things to do rather than just staying at home, being all alone with your thoughts. And that's what I was thinking of when we were making this decision. So I came back to Moscow, a week passed or something, and my mother moved in apartment where I was living. And it was very hard for her because I will never be able to understand her physical reaction and how she physically felt, but I can think of the pain and challenge that she had on the regular basis. So I did what I could, and being honest, again, I have no memories. I remember how we went to one restaurant. I remember how we went to another restaurant. And I remember how I took a picture of her in the metro. And I was like, bro, yeah. This is me editing the video. I'm gonna use this as a mic, which is, okay, this is not the topic. I didn't open this topic that I brought, that I wanted her to move to Moscow, because I felt like, okay, we don't have that much time, but she still looks fine and she acts fine, and her physical abilities to live the life is more than in the future it wasn't. So my main idea was that I can show her the life, that she has more opportunities, more things to do. And I wanted to go travel with her. I wanted to go to our vacation destination. I wanted to go to other places where we've been before, just showing her that with the cancer, this is not the end of the world. And somehow I thought that maybe if she will see that the life is there and the life doesn't end with the apartment where she had the sickness, she will somehow gain back the will of living. And this is how I thought the cancer would leave her. I don't know if I explained my idea and mindset correctly, but I hope that you understand. Yeah, we can continue now. I would say she spent around 1 month in Moscow, and then she left back home. And the thing is that mom being mom, she saw how I lived in Moscow. And I remember that she was buying like different things for just home. And I don't know, that was just like, okay. But that's just sweet to remember that mom is just being a mom, you know what I mean? And as she came back home, I was trying to come every time I have time to go and visit her. And I would say that I was coming like 2-3 times in 1 month, every month. And yeah. Another thing to talk about is family members. So basically, I found out the second in a family. The mother has cancer. My dad was the first, as I think, and I was the second. And I have blood sister who is older. And honestly, I cannot remember with what circumstances and when and how she found out. I remember that we had a conversation. She called me, but I can't remember how we talked. What did we talk about? I just remember her voice, and this just a picture in my head. And talking about my sister, we have 3 years gap. She's older, and Maybe it's just because I'm the youngest in the family and I really like to think about myself as the strongest one, creative, the most creative one, and so on. But she was the one who was handled it the best way. I don't know. Because in my picture of the family, how I see our family is that she has face features of my dad. I have face features of my mother. I always said this, that she has the smaller nose, the bigger lips, bigger eyes, lighter skin tone, and more like white rose skin tone, while I have smaller eyes, bigger nose, smaller lips, and more olive, darker skin tone. And I can't say that she was closer with my dad. I can't say that because dad is another character. But I always thought that she is the daughter of my dad and I'm the daughter of my mom, because that's how our relationship was. I don't know. And I always had a better relationship with my mother than she did. Because they have their own relationship, and let's be honest, that's not my business. And me talking about this right here, it's not very nice from my side. I'm just that just comes to the story. That's why I'm talking about them. But the matter of the fact is that we both are kids of our parents, and it doesn't matter who is whose, if I'm someone's daughter. You know what I mean? Yeah. And as I sort of myself, that I'm the strongest, she was handling it the best way. When I couldn't just see and help my mother, she did it with strong face, with kindness and everything. Well, I just couldn't even, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what I felt. It might seem very pathetic that you can't help your mother or something, but it was the way it was. I can't change it. As time has passed, we are in May. I was in Moscow at the time, and I'm Taurus, which means that I was born in May and was close to my birthday. And continuing the topic of talking how other family members found out that mother has a cancer, right thing to do is to say how my grandma found out that her daughter has a cancer. So it was late April, early beginning of May, I would say like 1st or 2nd of May, and I received a call from my grandma, being complete lost, feeling angry, feeling useless, feeling scared. I don't know, because that's how I felt. I just suggest that she felt the same way. But she was very frustrated and angry with us, with me and my sister, that we didn't tell her, because again, my mother had her own relationship with my grandma, and that was her decision not to tell her, and we just respected, and we didn't tell our grandma that this and this happened. And who told her? My dad. And after I finished the conversation with my grandma, I called my dad and I called my sister. I was at the cafe, and I remember this so good. How I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why would you tell or do anything against mother's will in that situation? Like, if she wants her to not knowing what was going on, it's like her decision, I don't know. And my dad was like, yeah, but I can't just do like that. And also about my dad, because I was flying so regularly to Omsk, every time he was like, why are you doing that? There is no reason, she's fine. And I was like, can't you understand that nobody know how much time does she have? How much time we have, each of us, each of family member, me, my sister, you, have with mother. Don't you want to appreciate this moment? Don't you want to spend this time with her? Will you not blame yourself for spending more time with her after something happens? And I was very angry every time, as we have this talk. And every time I was coming, I was trying to surprise her something, and I asked him to be involved in that, and he always was like, no, I'm not gonna do that, but whatever. So I decided to celebrate my birthday in Moscow. I can't remember the reason. I was just like, whatever. 6th of May, had my birthday. And 7th of May, I believe, I was in Omsk. Exact second day from my birthday, but whatever, it doesn't make any sense. And because it was about my grandma, my mother, she has sister, and they didn't talk throughout this whole life. They both started to have a family because of their own problems, I would say. Don't know. But when I came for my birthday to Omsk to see my mother, to have time with her, when I came home, everyone was there. My grandma, my mom, and only my aunt with her son. They was out walking or something, so I didn't see her. And I just had this question, why this reuniting is happening just because of the cancer? Why now everyone has a brain? At least it seems like it. Why cancer had to happen for you to be involved in lives of each other? I remember how me and my sister were talking that please, let's just make an agreement. I don't know, just handshake, that doesn't matter what's gonna happen in this life, we just we will have each other, because that's just ridiculous. And you see this in movies and you're just like, bro, for what are you reuniting? And yeah, I saw my aunt after I don't know, last time I saw her I was around 5-6 years old. So after 12-15 years I saw her. We cried. And of course I'm grateful for having this part of my family in my life right now, because I met my cousins that I didn't see my whole life, I would say. I saw them when they were kids, and that's it. But you know what I mean. And in May, my mother, she wasn't feeling good, and I would say that it was one of the moments when she was at her lowest. And every time I was coming to Omsk, as I said, I did it often. I was trying to spend time with her. We did a podcast, but at the same time, I couldn't let myself go with showing her how I really feel and how scared I am, bro. How scared, even thinking about this, how scary it is. And I would act fine and normal around her, and then I would cry myself to sleep, because you can't help it. You can't do anything. If money would matter, if whatever would matter, you would do everything, but it's just not it. So in May, when I came there, because it was my birthday, I was like, okay, let's just like celebrate something, whatever. And she couldn't even get up from the bed and be with us for the birthday. But we didn't celebrate. It's just like a family dinner or something. And I was so lost because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because she has been taken care of by my grandma and by my aunt. And I was like, there's nothing I need to do. I can't make your a tea because either you don't want tea, either someone else did you tea. I I don't need to change blanket for you because my grandma did it 5 minutes ago. I don't need to cook for you because grandma did it. Like every little thing I could do for her, someone else's did it. And I was stupid, I don't know, for just coming straight to her and ask like, hey, what do you want? Like maybe you want to spend time with me or something. And most of the time, because she didn't feel well, she would just be wanting to spend time by herself in bed or sleeping, because I can't explain to you how she felt, because that's just what I saw with my eyes. And I remember the feeling of me seeing her in this position, and I can't explain. Like, that's just weakness. That's exhaustion, because she was tired to leave, and she at some point, I guess, she wanted to die, because that's just not a possible life to live. And because of that, I would want to spend time out, seeing my friends who were in the city, going for walks, going somewhere to grab a coffee or something. And I remember how she asked me to come to her room, and she said, it was an angry talk, that she was like, why the fuck are you coming to this town if you're not spending time with me? And the way I felt is like, she is totally right. She is totally right, but I can't help myself. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can help, and I'm scared to be around you because I don't know what to do. I'm scared of my feelings. I'm scared of my thoughts. And I explained to her how I feel and something, and she was like, yeah, but we could just read. And books, it was a big passion of my mother. And I was like, why I didn't come up with this by myself, Honestly, I don't know what I should say, because when I was telling you a story, how it all begins in the first episode, I felt like, okay, yeah, I have things to say. For this episode, I feel so weak because I'm talking about emotions and how bad I was at the time. I don't know. I just feel a lot of guilt, Yeah, and this video is more random because I have like a plan of episodes for this, for how I lost my mother, and there's a lot of things that I want to share. But basically, why am I doing this is because I'm sharing my experience. I know that I'm not the only person who went through loss in such age. I know that I'm not the only person who lost her mother because of cancer, or another parent. I know that it's hard. And I know that there are people who didn't face the death, but they are in the same position. And they don't understand what's going on with them, because since 2020 till 2024, I was crying a lot. I couldn't fall asleep at some point because I was just scared, but I did fall asleep. I was able to. I was texted on a regular basis to my mother, asking her if she's fine because I was scared that it's gonna happen any moment. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. And yeah. I hope that my experience will help someone. And as I said in a trigger warning, that in the description box I have the email if you want to share your story, because if you do have the story similar to that or just your own experience, very necessarily to share. It's like, if you can't do that publicly, like I decided to do, if you can't do it with your family, if you can't do it with your friends, just let it out. Let it out on paper, let it out to, I don't know, not Pinterest. I forgot the name of the platform, but you need to let it out. Write down it into your notes on the phone, write it down as a letter, whatever. But yeah, I'm finishing this episode as at the moment, May 2022. Yeah. If you have anything to say about that, welcome to email. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you have friends who's dealing with the same, or you have, you know, to who this video might help. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Hope you're well. Love you. Bye.